The favorite verses in the Bible by Jehovah's Witnesses is Matthew chapter 5 verse 37, wherein Jesus Christ has instructed his followers to stand behind their words. Meaning to say, they have to be honest and to honor their words at all times. And another verses that the Jehovah's Witnesses likes to quote when they are stressing their point to become honest at all times is what we can read at Psalms chapter 15 verses 1 to 4. In fact, the Jehovah's Witnesses has even made a song based on that verses of the Bible. Psalms chapter verses 1 to chapter 15 verses 1 to 4. And that songs highlighted the necessity of becoming or being honest at all times if an individual wants to become a friend of Jehovah God. So, who will be accepted as a friend of Jehovah? Well, those verses says a lot, but especially in verse 4 of Psalms chapter 15, it says there that the kind of person Jehovah accepts as his friend is the one who does not prove false to his promises. Well, for us to be sure about what I'm commenting here, let's I suggest that we read that particular verse of the Bible, Psalms chapter 15 verses 1 to 4. O Jehovah, who will be a guest in your tent, who will reside in your holy mountain? He who is walking faultlessly and practicing righteousness and speaking the truth in his heart. He has not slandered with his tongue. To his companion he has done nothing bad, and no reproach has he taken up against his intimate acquaintances. Verse 4. In his eyes, anyone contemptible is certainly rejected, but those fearing Jehovah he honors. He has sworn to what is bad for himself, and yet he does not alter. Please take note of the last sentence. An honest person has sworn, because it stated that has sworn bad for himself, but does not alter. Meaning to say, that particular person who will be accepted as a friend of Jehovah God has promised something to his fellow man. And that promise, though it is very a heavy burden, will be a very heavy burden for him, he will dutifully honors his word and his promises. That is the kind of person that Jehovah will accept as his friend. So, Thus, the Jehovah's Witnesses, especially their organization, measure up to that kind of description or qualification of a person being accepted as a friend of God or Jehovah God. Well, just a couple weeks ago, the leading ex-Jehovah's Witness activist in Sweden, and his YouTube, and he calls himself Jonas Platt. I don't know if it is really his real name, but he calls himself that name. But his name of his YouTube channel is Goatlike Personality. There, in one of his recent videos just a couple of weeks ago, he has reported or relayed the devastating defeat of the Watchtower Society or the religion of the Jehovah's Witnesses once again in Sweden. This is the second time in a period of not more than 1 year that the Watchtower, that religion of Jehovah's Witnesses has been defeated in the Supreme Court, the highest court of Sweden. So, in the previous case that they have been defeated, it is with regards to the practice of the Jehovah's Witnesses organization or the Watchtower to show videos to their little ones, to the little children of their members, or to any one who may happen to attend their meetings or conventions, assemblies with their little ones, showing of videos that is inappropriate for the ages of little children. So the Supreme Court of Sweden has prohibited them of continuously showing those inappropriate videos for the consumption of their little ones in their kingdom halls or assembly hall or any other places that they conduct their meetings. They can do that in their private home under the close supervision of their parents. So that is the case, and they lost that case in the Swedish Supreme Court. But the recent defeat of the Jehovah's Witnesses in the Swedish Supreme Court is regarding an assembly hall somewhere in Sweden, not very far from their capital, Stockholm. And Goatlike Personality has related the things that surrounded the defeat of the Jehovah's Witnesses. And to make the story short, it boiled down to the failure of the Watchtower or the Jehovah's Witnesses or of the Jehovah's Witnesses to honor their words, to pay the rent or to rent the assembly hall that they formerly owned from the second party who bought that hall from them under the contract of the Watchtower renting the place, continuously renting the place until the municipal authorities will alter or change the zonal classification of that place where the assembly hall is situated. But the watchtower failed to honor the words, to make the story short, and so the owner of the building who bought that building from the Jehovah's Witnesses has sold them up to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court of Sweden has penalized the watchtower of, according to the video, 10 million Swedish kroners. So, there we go. But another thing that Goatlike Personality stated in his video is that the history of the Jehovah's Witnesses with the assembly hall in Sweden has shown them being more untrusty than the worldly people that they always malign as under the influence of this world, under the influence of Satan the devil. Because in his discussion or story, Goatlike Personality has stated that a worldly people or a non-Jehovah's Witness people or businessman has bought the former kingdom hall, not the one being contested in the court litigation that the watchtower has lost recently in the Swedish Supreme Court, but a relatively smaller assembly hall in the past, wherein the non-Jehovah's Witness buyer has bought it and honor his word, even though it is disadvantageous for him, because during that time the Swedish real estate industry or market has crashed down dramatically. But because he wants to honor his word, that particular man or non-Jehovah's Witness buyer bought the former assembly hall of the Jehovah's Witnesses, even though he loses on that transaction. And now Goatlike Personality has reported that that place, the former assembly hall of the Jehovah's Witnesses, is now a mosque of Islam followers or Muslims of the Muslim religion. And that is the former assembly hall before they bought this bigger assembly hall wherein they loses and the Swedish Supreme Court just this few months ago. So that is the story regarding these Jehovah's Witnesses not honoring their word. So how can they claim to be Jehovah's friend or the only true religion now on earth? And one more thing, because of failing to honor their word and they lost in the court, in the Supreme Court, their main arguments in the court proceeding is that the buyer of their assembly hall who sued them is violating their human rights. That is the mindset of the Jehovah's Witnesses. Whenever there is an opposition to their religion because of their lies and bad effects, and because of bad effects that their beliefs is bringing to people, they are quick to label it as a persecution to their faith. And the leadership of the church is taking advantage of the left and right criticism and losses in court to fortify and to indoctrinate the members that it is a sign of being the only true Christian today. They cry persecution. And the gullible members of the Jehovah's Witnesses is quickly believe that kind of propaganda from their leaderships. So, this is all for my comments for the video of Jonah Platt and his story about yet another defeat of the Watchtower or the Jehovah's Witnesses religion in the country of Sweden. Thank you, and if you're watching this video, please subscribe to my channel and please share my videos to all your acquaintances and friends and the social media so that many people will be reached by my activism and they will be warned against the disadvantages of joining the religion of Jehovah's Witnesses. Thank you and have a good and safe day.